What is up, everyone? I can't believe that this is episode number 12 of Two Girls, One Trade. I am your queen of stonks, the trading chick, and I'm accompanied by my lovely co-host, the blonde broker. Today we have a very exciting episode lined up for you, so sit back, relax, enjoy, and do remember that none of what we say is financial advice.
That is correct. We have to reiterate a lot that none of this is financial advice. But Two Girls, One Trade would like to introduce you to our presenting sponsor, StockTwits, baby. We want you to be able to grow your financial network and connect with others like us. StockTwits allows you to do this in real time. So searching for good, solid companies to invest in has never been easier. Whether these are securities that you've already been invested in or new ones that you want to learn more about, the app will allow you to track it all. So not only can you create a watch list for your stocks, you can now create a watch list for your crypto. And if you are new to crypto, that's no problem, because StockTwits is where you can go to start learning and make your first crypto transaction. And you'll eventually be able to trade everything else. So guys, go check them out today.
Check them out. They're the fucking best.
They are. And we're super excited to bring you episode 12. This week on Two Girls, One Trade, we will be talking about Amazon announcing their 20-to-1 stock split, the price of nickel, what are signs of a recession, and what to do when you see those signs of a recession, and what on earth? Wheat.
Fucking wheat, man. But yeah, I'll kick you guys off with some earnings. Desktop Metal, one of my favorite companies, 3D printing company. I totally think that they're going to revolutionize the future. Sadly, their stock is down a fucking shit ton, but they released earnings on Tuesday and they are killing it. Revenues came in at $56.7 million with full year 2022 guidance at $260 million. This one for me is like a 10-year hold, so I'm just channeling my inner Gandhi and chillin'.
Oh, I would be, and I'm honestly going to be chilling too, because on Wednesday, as you heard earlier, Amazon announced their 20-to-1 stock split and a $10 billion buyback. They will begin trading the split adjustments on June 6th. So this did cause the stock to pop a little bit, but this is going to lower the share price and people are going to be able to now buy Amazon who weren't able to before.
Do you own any Amazon?
I owned Amazon in, 2020, like beginning of 2020, and then I sold end of 2020, beginning of 2021. Like kind of when I was narrowing down my portfolio and was I had like 20 to 30 stocks. I think that was definitely one of them, and now I only have 7. So no more Amazon.
So I swear Amazon released like the 20-to-1 stock split and $10 billion buyback news because of how shitty Rivian did during earnings. They released earnings Thursday after hours, and they missed analyst expectations by like triple. And they lost 12% after hours, which like really isn't a lot for how much they missed by. But given that the stock was $179 just 3 months ago and is now trading at $35, that's like a big RIP.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught holding that bag.
Yeah, sorry guys if you're holding Rivian.
We like Rivian too, which is sad.
We're sending you our love. In other news, nickel prices are fucking soaring, all because of the Russia-Ukraine thing. There was like a massive short squeeze on nickel, so nickel has been up 250% in just a few days. And actually, like if you get an actual nickel, it's worth more than a nickel. Like, it's worth more than 5 cents per nickel. So you could just fucking hoard up on a bunch of nickels, but that would be like really heavy.
Just keep them in your change jar. Like, you know, when you were like little, you had a are. I
Your
had
piggy
one.
bank.
Yeah, my piggy bank. I used it to buy my cat.
Which one?
The hairless one. I had to pay his like medical bills with it. Long time ago, but yeah, we love the nickels.
So aside from nickel prices through the roof, wheat prices are also going crazy, which is actually really bad because everyday Americans have wheat on a day-to-day basis. It's in everything that you eat, and even when the market's doing bad, I know there's like a running joke about ramen and like how we're all going to eat ramen. That shit's about to go up in price because of these wheat prices. So like really this is going to affect everything and everyone. So this is really bad, and like the government is going to need to subsidize wheat prices or do something, or like the companies that are making wheat products are just going to have to lose money right now and like continue to sell it at the price that they're selling it at, even though the cost of their goods has increased. So that's going to be like a really tough bullet to bite. But speaking of this horrible occurrence in the bread industry. What?
In the bread industry.
Yeah, like Marie Antoinette is like, let them eat cake. They're not gonna eat cake. That shit has bread in it. Yeah, no, they're gonna be eating eggs. Let them eat eggs.
Marie Calendar chicken pot pies. Can't afford those either.
But yeah, I do want to touch on some signs of a recession, and I have a lot lined up for everyone today, so pour yourselves a drink, okay? So, what are some signs of an incoming recession? Currently, we are at a point in time where over the past 2 years, our economy has experienced a shit ton of artificial stimulus. What effect did that have? It created a plethora of overnight millionaires who developed luxury spending habits that are completely, totally out of control.
Totally.
That, coupled with the fact that rates have been extremely low, allowed for everyday people to access abundant amounts of money for cheap. All of this has led to an increase in luxury goods purchases, housing prices through the roof, and credit card spending flying, despite unemployment rates being just above pre-COVID levels and a record number of employee resignations, hence the Great Resignation, which are not included in unemployment data. A lot of these people are under the illusion that this inflated purchasing power will last forever, which is probably why we've seen people spending so much real money on JPEGs. Sorry, blonde broker.
Which is me. I am totally guilty of that. I just counted, I looked at my wallet, I have 98 NFTs that I have purchased and collected. That's why I can't house right now. It's all my JPEGs. It's incredible.
You're part of the problem. You are the problem.
My money's in the blockchain. But I mean, so what are some of the indicators that we need to know about, like when the recession's coming?
So I have like 5 indicators for you guys. The first one is rising oil prices, and I'll get into all of them. The second, rising interest rates. The third, home prices and sales declining. The fifth, no, sorry, I'm bad at counting. The fourth is stock market crashes. And the fifth is manifestation, which you guys know I'm into.
We love that.
So that's like kind of like 4.5. But let's start on rising oil prices. So in our current case, the reason why oil prices have soared is because of a supply shock caused by the Putin-Ukraine conflict. However, it is important to keep an eye on this because soaring oil prices have preceded the past 5 recessions. 5. When the prices of oil and natural gas rise, they have an effect on everything, most noticeably on gas prices at your local gas station, but can even trickle into the price of a t-shirt because everything needs to be transported. Food, water, basically anything that isn't growing in your backyard needs to be transported and is going to go up in price because of oil.
So I need to start learning how to garden and grow my own food and tie knots and be produceful.
Basically,
which I'm not.
Basically, it's like back
Awesome.
to the fucking, what's it called? what was it called? Hunter-gatherer. We're all going to become hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, hunter-gatherer.
Because of these stupid oil prices. The next indicator of a potential recession is rising interest rates. The Fed has already made it clear that inflation is completely and utterly out of control and that they need to raise rates. The artificially low interest rates that the Fed gave us to stimulate the economy during COVID served its purpose, but maybe a little bit too well. In fact, many people attribute the low interest rates of the early 2000s as a contributing factor to the creation of the housing bubble that ultimately caused the financial crisis. So that's kind of something that we're dealing with. The Fed is obviously struggling with this because they don't want to crash the markets, but they also need to get inflation under control. Thursday's inflation, or was it Wednesday? Wednesday's inflation, Thursday's CPI data came in at 7.9%. So that was February's data because it's a lagging indicator. So when we get March's data next month, especially as like the Ukraine-Putin conflict is priced into that, we're just going to be super, super, super duper fucked. But
I'm guessing 8.6.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. I feel like it's going to be higher. I think inflation is probably going to be like 9% or something.
I think it'd be cool if we did
which is
like
super
everyone
crazy.
takes a guess on the timeline. That'd be really cool and see who's right.
I mean, it's just like a bad situation because inflation means that your dollar is losing value. That's literally all it means. So if it rises 9%, your $100 is now worth $91. So
Yummy. Shout out Jerome Powell.
I mean, it's not even his fault. It's like everyone's fault. It's like everything. It's everything. The third indicator of a potential recession is home prices and sales declining. So when home prices and values begin to fall, many consumers respond by decreasing their spending as their net worth falls. The cutting back can also get more extreme if homeowners find themselves in negative equity, also known as being underwater on their mortgage, which is when you owe more than what the home is worth. And as per usual, less consumer spending means less money flowing and can lead to a recession. We're not in a point right now where home prices are dropping chaotically, but just from my everyday perusing on Zillow, which I do quite often, daydreaming of my future real estate collection. Who doesn't manifest that shit? I have noticed small price reductions almost across the board. That being said, there are still many people who are buying here as they want to take advantage of the low interest rates, which the Fed says are going to rise. But if you do find yourself in a category of people who would not necessarily be able to continue payments on your home if shit hits the fan, I would personally consider selling and exploring other options. Maybe take a 4-month Airbnb vacation through Europe and reevaluate your purchasing decisions later in the year.
Which I'm seriously considering doing, given that like right now my lease ended and I was looking for property to buy in the Dallas area, and the homes that I want to buy as like a single independent individual person, they're like very, very, very expensive. It just seems out of pocket, I can't do it. I mean, I could do it, but it's just unrealistic. And so I think I'm doing the nomad life for a little bit, just like you said, maybe go to Spain. I'm in Miami right now, but to be able to afford a house right now, it's very upsetting because it's discouraging looking and knowing that you're having to buy a home that's like, I don't know, 15% above what it was last year, 2 years ago when I should have bought.
Yeah, I mean, it's like honestly really sad because the way that the home prices are going, it's just like almost impossible for anyone to buy a home, especially so many people thought that, I mean, we could talk about this later, but like people just thought that more money would be coming in, and it's not. So the fourth indicator that I want to talk about is stock market crashes. I know this is like a massive shocker. Like, who would think that a stock market crash would precede a recession? Like, wow, crazy. But they are actually huge warning signs of a looming recession. And while the NASDAQ is only 25% off previous highs, there have been many stock market crashes that have almost been hiding beneath the greater indices that I want to talk about. So small caps, as we all fucking know, I mean, if you're watching this and you know me from Twitter, like you know that they are all down bad, down between 60 and 90% off their early 2021 highs. And as retail was like, most of retail was invested in small caps. So most of retail has been experiencing like a massive stock market crash in regards to their personal portfolios that like nobody talks about on the media. So I definitely want to mention that. And then also the crypto market wasn't a thing in any previous recession because that's only like new. You know, crypto is like the internet of 2000. But I would definitely consider it in this case to be similar to the stock market. And anyone holding crypto has also experienced declines anywhere from 45% in the case of Bitcoin to a full fucking rug pull where you just have $0 left in whatever coin you fucking bought. So Bitcoin is supposed to be an inflation hedge. And when the CPI data came out on Thursday, higher than expected, all that happened to Bitcoin was it went down. So it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. And now I'm not saying that this is exactly the same, but there are many similarities between the early 2000s and now. Similarly to how people were excited about the future of the internet and threw insane amounts of money at any project that had a .com at the end of it, in the past 2 years, the crypto world has seen similar excitement. Crypto, DeFi, Web3, it's all clearly the future. Like, it's all going to be the future. But at the same time, there is no evident leader. There's no project that's like the Google. You know, no one knows what the Google of crypto is. So people have been pouring money into these markets, almost like shooting bullets in the dark, hoping to magically hit the project that's going to become the future of like crypto, DeFi, and Web3. But honestly, those projects haven't even come to light yet. And people are really trying to take shots in the dark, hoping to suddenly become a billionaire overnight. But similarly to how when the internet was started, like all of those initial internet projects, the .com projects, they inspired what the web is today, but barely any of them survived long term. So now that crypto is on the decline, oil is at an all-time high, rates are increasing, inflation's out of control, the markets are in a downturn, how will that affect the people? The people who bought a $3 million two-bedroom condo with 10% down who have no job, what's going to happen to them when they were banking on Bitcoin going to $100,000? It continues to decline, and then they can't pay their mortgage, and a fucking Happy Meal at McDonald's costs $15. What's going to happen? Who's going to buy their two-bedroom condo when they have to sell it? With inflation through the roof, rates on the rise, prices of goods increasing parabolically, who is going to have $3 million for a fucking two-bedroom condo? Nobody. And then what's going to happen? They're going to have to sell, they're going to have to sell their Lamborghini. They're going to have to sell their crypto. They're going to have to sell all of their assets. And we all know what happens when supply is high and demand is low. The fucking prices are going to drop of everything. And you know.
And we mean drop.
Yeah. It's all going to drop. I want to mention one more thing. Manifestation. This is the fifth indicator. So when people are expecting a recession and their spending habits start reflecting their fears of a recession, and enough people begin fearing that a recession is coming, a recession comes because they manifest the recession. So that's the fifth indicator. If people are fearful that it's coming, if people are looking at these inflation rates being like, holy fucking shit, if they're looking at the job numbers being like, holy fucking shit, if they're looking at their portfolios go down and housing prices go up and interest rates go up, and they're like, holy fucking shit, and they're like, I can't be spending the way that I was in 2020 and 2021, we will go into a recession on pure FUD. Literally.
FUD.
But, you know, here at Two Girls, One Trade, we are not just going to leave you with all this FUD and not tell you how to come out as a winner. So here we go. Trade of the motherfucking week, baby.
That's me. That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
Oh, take it away.
We just got a little poofy with my hair. So, last week we talked about uranium and entering uranium plays such as UEC, CCJ, and UUUU. Uranium also just hit a 13-year high yesterday, and I was lucky enough to get the call from Trading Chick last week on our episode, and I decided to play UUUU. So I watched it on Monday. I watched it take a dip around lunchtime and decided this is the perfect time to enter. I'm going to enter with a good size position, but not too big. So I entered at around $7.68, and I put in about $1,500. So I'm just going to walk you through like exactly how the trade went. So I kept watching. I waited for more confirmation of an uptrend, and then I saw one maybe 3 hours later and decided to enter again and double my position. So I added another $1,500 at $7.96, and that left me with an average of 7.82, which is pretty good for a stock that used to be, I think it was $14 back then. But then again, this is uranium. It's on the come up. It just had a very good last week and a very good last run. So it could still squeeze. But here I am sitting with roughly 400 shares at a 782 average. And typically when I swing trade, I'm looking to get 10 to 20% gains. And I sold on Wednesday and made 18% gain. So that's not too bad. That's really good. If I would have been holding on, and not, I guess if I wouldn't have sold, I would have been up 23%. But don't be afraid to take gains. When you are selfish, that's when you start to make mistakes, and who knows what uranium's going to do tomorrow. So it's a good thing that I got out and took my profits.
So I think it was Radio Silent Play who one time posted a graphic on Twitter, and it was a picture of a hamburger, and it was, you don't want the whole hamburger, you want the meat in the middle. So making 18% is that meat on the middle and not eating the whole 23% burger, if that makes sense. Like, you want the meat in the middle. You don't want to risk it for the whole burger, because why? Like, if you can collect the middle every time, why risk it for the whole thing?
Why am I going for the bun, the wheat? The wheat.
Don't get the fucking wheat. Wheat is so last year.
Don't get the fucking wheat.
So last quarter.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Stop trying to make wheat happen.
Wheat's not gonna happen.
Trying to make wheat happen. So we could continue to see a squeeze coming out of this last week going into next week. But I think the new play of the week is going to be shorting tech stocks and hotels and travel if we do happen to go into recession. So I think that's kind of where we are going to migrate to. And since we're on the topic of recession, I want to go over how to trade in a recession. So the easy way would be to tell you guys to not trade at all and to sit on your hands. Yes, hoard your cash. Pray to the finance gods that this is all going to end soon. But here on Two Girls, One Trade, we want to help you, and we want to help you in any type of market.
And so, also, I want to point out that, like, CNBC, you'll hear a bunch of people being like, oh, yeah, like, this is such a good buying opportunity, blah, blah, blah. They just want you to buy the dip so that they can exit their positions. Like, that's all it is.
And I'm not typically the bear. The trading chick knows more about leveraging with the NASDAQ and SQQQ than I do. She's talked about it in previous episodes, but for those that don't know what TQQQ and SQQ are, they are both exchange traded funds, or ETFs. So you've probably heard that a lot. If the NASDAQ index rises 1%, so TQQQ will rise 3% naturally. And SQQQ is the inverse of that. So if the NASDAQ falls that 1%, then SQQQ will rise 3%. So in theory, the SQQQ is definitely worth learning right now, and how to trade that in the next few months. So I'm going to kind of spend some time doing that, and who better to learn it from than my co-host. And also, there are a lot of YouTube videos on how to day trade inverse ETFs, and I'm sure that we're actually probably going to be putting one out, maybe do a beginner tutorial video, which would be really great for our audience to see. But back to trading strategies, one thing you can do to take advantage of the falling markets is to short. So that's identifying companies that you don't think are going to survive in the next coming months in the storm, and you can see their prices, their share prices potentially dropping. And unfortunately, in reality, recession would include everything. So we're talking banks, retail shopping, e-commerce. We're going to start seeing some layoffs, and those people who lose their jobs aren't going to be taking out loans to buy cars, to buy houses. You can't fucking afford a house anyways right now. And they're not going to be buying things on new credit cards. So it's a lot. Trading in a recession is a lot. It's not something that I have had to do before, but this is where your risk management becomes so important. So we could talk a little bit about hedging. If you can hedge in certain sectors. You can use sector indices to hedge against specific stocks. So if I was going to trade with a banking index, that could be traded against a portfolio of banking stocks. Or you can go long as the markets recover. And I know a lot of people that listen to the podcast might not be day traders, you might be long-term investors, but that is another way to manage your risks. It's to just really just hold your stuff. If shorting isn't your thing, then you can hold your positions and profit post-recession recovery.
So what I'm doing right now is, because I have a long-term portfolio of stocks that I believe in for the future. I love those stocks. They've honestly been killing it on earnings. And weirdly, I think now that the NASDAQ is starting to go down, they're starting to go up because they're reporting these amazing earnings, which I'm so happy about. But regardless of whether they're going up or down, I don't really care, because my intent is to hold them very long term. Sometimes I'll trim my position on those stocks a tiny bit. So maybe I'll sell 25% of them if I think that there's further decline coming, or if they pop really hard during the day. If they go up 20% one day, sometimes I'll take a little bit of profits, and then with the intent of buying back at a lower price because I see a different opportunity coming. But what I've been doing in regards to my long-term portfolio is, like you said, I'm taking advantage of the triple leveraged inverse ETFs to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is on a decline. It's evident by the series of lower highs and lower lows. So that's when a downtrend happens, and it's lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and it just keeps going. So right now I'm taking advantage of that with my SQQQ. I have probably 25% of my total portfolio value in SQQQ. So my intent
I
is
wish I were you right now.
my intent is probably just to hold that through the summer, maybe to October, and trade it like a tiny bit as, we make those higher highs and lower lows. Try to sell here, buy here, sell, but not with all of it, because I'm really trying to hold that as a hedge. So that's like my protection. And then also I talked about this last week. A lot of my portfolio is long the commodities that I think are going to experience a tightening in supply. So I have a lot of my portfolio in metals. That is also important for electricity. It's important for batteries. And as this oil thing has a lasting effect on the market, I think a lot of people are going to turn towards a lot of battery manufacturing, chip, and all of that stuff needs metals and rare earth metals. So I have a lot of that in my portfolio right now. But I also have like my speculative small caps that I love ever so dearly.
And that's what you're trading, your swing trading, correct? Your small caps.
No, my small caps are my long-term hold. Like DM, I'm not selling for 10 years. Hims, I'm not selling for 10 years.
I freaking love Hims.
It's such a fun company. Their advertising is so good, and they're so cheap right now. But I already have a full position, but I still love them.
So that was one of our questions from the audience, was like, what is your largest position? And you just answered that it was SQQQ.
Well, I said, here, let me look actually. I think my largest positions right now are SQQQ is definitely up there. My top 5 are probably SQQQ, MP, which is Mountain Pass. They're a rare earth metal processor in the United States, and they're also the most sustainable in the world. But I have covered calls on MP, so it's so annoying. My covered calls are at 35 and it's trading at 41, which is really fucking annoying. But I'm low-key hoping that goes down. But that's definitely one of my largest positions. It's probably more than my SQQQ. And then I think desktop metal is definitely up there. I totally believe in the future of 3D printing. I think it's going to completely revolutionize our world and how things are manufactured and bring manufacturing to the company. And also, as we were talking about oil prices, imagine just being able to, as a business owner, just being able to manufacture anything that you need right there in your little office at a relatively low cost. You don't have to transport pre-built items in. You can just build it yourself by printing it, which is pretty freaking cool. And I know Tiffany & Co. uses desktop metal printers to print some of their jewelry. I know that they have this whole dental thing going to print veneers and stuff and print crowns. And they're also working on a 3D printing situation. I don't really understand it because I'm not in medicine, but it's a regenerative hearing aid thing that they custom create to your ear that will repair hearing loss. So they're also working on that.
So it
I know. It's such a cool company. So that's why I like it so much, is just because I see so many of the things that they're doing, and it's just revolutionary. And I know I always talk about this. Wall Street is so focused on what's happening tomorrow. They're not focusing on what's happening in 10 years. And I think in 10 years, 3D printing is going to be it. And this company is trading at $1 billion, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's not at all.
I remember in college I took a graphics design class for my engineering degree, and we had to 3D print, and I 3D printed a tech deck, one of those little finger skateboards, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then that was just something kind of mindless to play with and stuff. But think of everything that you could do, like the hearing aids. That's
I
incredible.
know, it's insane. Like a regenerative thing that can build your hearing back. Like that's fucking insane. But yeah, Desktop Metal is really cool. I also did
3D
like projects in my engineering classes where we were like 3D printing stuff to like build a robot. We were building like this self-driving robot thing that would like test the soil conditions and like tell you the weather and like automatically go to like where it was supposed to go. And we were 3D printing objects for that, which was really cool.
I feel like we all kind of, everyone in engineering had to build robots at some point. Like that was like
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard of one person that took engineering and didn't have an assignment where they had to build a robot.
I also interned at a robotics company.
I did not know that.
I did after freshman year.
I had no idea.
I interned at a robotics company in Massachusetts, and it was like all these MIT guys, and like we were just 3D printing stuff all day, every day, like on CAD, everything. And like seeing the Desktop Metal printers, they're so much more advanced than like anything that I was using in like the engineering lab at my school, or like, yeah, it's just really cool. What are your largest positions?
I am, obviously, I think I talk about it a lot. Palantir is my largest position. Also AMD, I'm definitely bullish on AMD for mid-2023. You know, a lot of people actually day trade AMD. I don't want to. I probably could. I think a lot of people have been shorting it recently, but AMD. And then I'm also invested heavily into a Canadian penny stock. It's called XTM, which I don't know if anyone knows. My grandfather's Canadian, so I'm a little Canadian. I do like to look at a lot of their stocks. This company, I was a waitress in high school, and we had to count tips like by hand, or management counts tips by hands. But XTM is taking this system that they've innovated that calculates tips automatically and can tell the manager what to tip out the hostess stand and the bus boys and the bar backs and the waitresses. And so it's just new automation that some big like chains of restaurants have been slowly picking up. So I think they've already started in Miami. Not sure if it's in Texas or any other states, but once they do, I could see that penny stock kind of going to the roof. So you know me, I'm all about the penny stocks, but that's my favorite one right now. And then yeah, that's it, just crypto, and then my damn 98 NFTs that I hold. Those are probably more than my whole stock portfolio.
Freaking NFTs, that's crazy. Second question, how do you buy a futures contract? I know a lot of people are talking about buying futures contracts on energy as just all this shit is hitting the fan. So how does someone do that?
Yeah, so essentially you can participate in market movements and make a profit by going long or short on these future contracts. So by going long, a trader is going to buy futures contracts with the expectations that it's going to rise in value over time and in the future. And then conversely, a trader will go and sell the futures contract to go short and to bet on prices to decline in the future.
So are futures contracts like on specific items? So like it would be like I'm just going long the futures of oil, like in general. Like the price of oil is going to be higher, so I want to go long the future price of oil.
So I think that's exactly it. Like they're definitely sectors. I know so you have your hedgers, and then you have your speculators, and I mean I think it's should be simple, but I've never done it.
So what's interesting I think about futures contracts as well is like, say Kellogg's, right? I feel like Kellogg's makes mini wheats probably. Like if they anticipate a rise in the prices of wheat, like what you were saying, there's the hedgers, they can hedge their own business by buying futures contracts on wheat. That way, if the prices go up, their business won't be as negatively impacted as like others who don't have that same hedge.
Okay, that makes sense. We're learning. We're teaching each other here.
Where are you all living or have any upcoming trips?
I'm in Miami right now for NFT Miami that I will be speaking at. I'm also speaking at Shitcoin Miami,
Damn,
which
mommy.
is going to be really fun. And then Bitcoin conference. So I will be here for 10 days doing conferences. And on Sunday, I'm actually going to Hackathon at FTX Arena. So I'm super excited to meet all those people. But like Miami, I'm, slowly finding out this is like crypto capital. Everyone and their mother is fucking
Have
here.
you gone to Havana 1957 yet?
No.
It's my favorite Cuban restaurant in Miami. You have to go.
Is it okay? Havana 1957. I'm gonna go because I know I was supposed to go to Joya.
Joya's fab.
You know all the good places to eat.
I know. I just love to eat so much. It's a problem.
And then after Miami, I don't know. I want to buy property in Dallas. So we kind of talked about that like it's just really expensive right now. So I might kind of hop around. I'm really looking into going to Spain, and do a little bit of travel there, and then kind of see wherever you're at, and we can just kind of like tag along. But I know where you're living, but do you want to tell everyone like where you're living and what you want to do?
Yeah, so I'm living in New York right now. I'm like working my fucking ass off. Like genuinely my butt hurts so badly from sitting in my chair all the time. And like I have my fluffiest sweater that I own. It's now my chair cushion. Like it just sits beneath my ass all day because like I need the extra padding because like my chair is literally giving my butt pain. But yeah, so I'm in desperate need of a vacation. So in a week, I'm going skiing to my favorite ski town in Colorado, and I'm so excited. Like, genuinely, I have not been more excited to, like, not have to work. I took the week off, which is, like, so rare because usually when I travel, I work from home, but I took the whole entire week off, and I'm just, like, so stoked.
So no worries, no problems.
Yeah, no worries, no problems. I'm like really, really, really excited.
You're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, I've been working so hard, like between the podcast and then, my job, like it's really not that draining because since they paid me less this year, technically, I've just been like kind of with a fuck you attitude and I just don't really do anything, but still there's like a lingering stress of it all, which
right.
Like,
yeah,
you understand.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a good week. So we have some exciting trips coming up then.
Someone asked, what can I give my wife of 9 years for her birthday? And I chose to include this question because I feel like so many guys just like fumble the bag on birthday present. So I think there are certain staples that anyone can afford no matter what, which are flowers in a vase and a handwritten card. That's like number one, that must be given no matter what else you get her or if that's the only present because that's all you can afford. That must be given. Flowers and a card. And then I think 9 years, it really just depends on like what you're making and what you're comfortable spending. But she's your wife. Like, I think you should spend like as much as you can on her present. And I know women always love jewelry. So don't go trying to get her like clothes or a lingerie set. Don't get her a lingerie set because that's not a gift for her. That's a gift for you.
And then if it doesn't fit, she's even more pissed.
Yeah. Don't get her a lingerie set. Jewelry.
Even a spa day, you could go to like Massage NV and buy a massage. Those aren't like super expensive, but yeah, or buy a hotel one night and take her on a date to dinner and then do a hotel so you're away from the house, and if you have kids, away from kids. I think that would be super romantic. Or yeah, all of the ideas that you said were perfect because like we're not simple, but then we are simple, like cards.
Or like if she's always wanted to go somewhere, maybe you guys haven't gone there because you don't have the time, or like someone just always makes excuses for it as to why you shouldn't go, maybe like make that the surprise. Like, oh, we're gonna road trip to wherever we've been talking about for so long, or like maybe whatever it is.
Y'all gonna have so much fun. Happy birthday to your wife.
And also to the person that asked that question, or to anyone else that question applies to, send us like your pictures of whatever you get your girlfriends or wives or boyfriends, whatever it is, because I like love that stuff, and I don't have a boyfriend or anything, so I don't get to enjoy it myself, but like I would love to like secondhand enjoy that from you guys.
Yeah, I'm literally your boyfriend.
Yeah, Blonde Broker is my boyfriend. This is a fact.
Yeah. Oh god, that's scary.
The final question: what is your preference for a guy, aside from Blonde Broker being my boyfriend? She's obviously my preference.
Kind. Very kind. Someone that's not like crude, like isn't like cussing out loud, I guess, in big groups.
Really? I do.
I cuss all the time, but if I'm like around people I don't know or in some like weird setting, I just kind of like I get kind of like turned off by it, I guess, because if you drop the F-bomb like every other word, it's like, damn, oh, I just cussed. Hypocrite. So kind, and then driven. Like, driven is my number one, like, over kindness. I think if you're showing that you want to be successful yourself, then you're showing that you want to be successful in your future relationship to support the other person. And it's like, it's really attractive that someone's trying to like get out there and get it. And
I think driven also applies as well to like how you take care of yourself. I think that you can be very driven in the way that you take care of your own body by eating healthy, working out, like keeping your mental health in order. I think all of that takes drive. It's not easy to do, but once you build the routines, it becomes easier. So yeah, preference for a guy, definitely driven. And like, I love just like a guy that is thoughtful.
Thoughtful. Well, that's slim pickings right there, because there's not a lot of thoughtful men. But I know what you're talking about, though, because like you want a guy to do something for you without you having to tell them.
Yeah, like I want a guy
and some of them aren't.
Yeah, to just like be thinking of me and being like, oh my god, I know she loves this, and like walks by a flower store. Oh my gosh, I know her favorite flowers are white roses. I'm just gonna bring her some home today.
Cough.
Yeah.
Cough.
Or
cough,
like
cough.
you're at the grocery store. Oh, I know her favorite chips are Takis. Like, let me get her a bag. Just like little things, day-to-day, tiny little things. Or like, I know she really likes to have coffee in the morning. I'll bring her some in bed. That costs $0.
We'll find it.
One day.
We will find it. And if not, then you still have your boyfriend, the Blonde Broker.
Yeah. Yay!
I like those questions. Those were good. Thank you guys for sending those to us. We like to answer them, and we hope that we give you guys good feedback and can continue to do that on every single episode.
Also, like, my favorite thing about recording these episodes on Zoom is that, like, I'm not wearing pants, and nobody knew all episode.
I thought about it, but I knew my ass was probably going to have to get up, like, randomly, so...
Yeah, I'm not wearing pants.
That'll be our insider, just don't get up.
Oh, before I forget,
Aww.
Everyone, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all of our social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are all on TikTok. My personal Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are all at The Trading Chick. There's so many imposters out there. Just spell it all correctly, and you'll be good. And the podcast on Instagram and TikTok is the number 2 girls, the number 1 trade. And then on Twitter, it's TWO girls 1 trade with the number 1. We should probably just make them all the same. It's a tomorrow problem.
We'll change that after this episode. And then I am the Blonde Broker on Twitter and the blondebroker.eth on Instagram, the Blonde Broker on TikTok, and we are going to have our TikTok up and running for you guys, and a lot of our content is going to be shared there, so we appreciate the follow on our TikTok, and please subscribe if you haven't, and like all of our videos.
Hell yeah.
And leave a comment. We love the comments.
We love the comments.
We appreciate
Flirt
you
with
guys.
us in the comments. Please, I need some male energy.
Oh no. I knew you were about to say something like that.
I'm so single.
Our group DMs are so down bad with like our producer and our videographer. Our group DMs are down bad. It's so funny.
It's so funny. You and I are just being like horny weirdos, and they just have to like suffer.
They're like, so when are we uploading?
And you and I are just like talking shit. So
I wanna fuck.
So funny.
I wanna fuck.
So
well, thank you guys. That was a good episode.
Yeah, such a good episode. Episode number 12, baby. And what do we say in closing?
I am healthy.
I am wealthy.
I am rich.
I am that bitch. Period.
See y'all next time.
Blonde Broker and Trading Chick signing off. Sayonara, biatches. Mwah, love you. Hi everyone, we have a very exciting announcement for you today.
If we hit 100,000 subscribers by August 26th, one lucky fan will have a chance to hang with us in New York City.
It gets better. You won't be coming alone, you'll get to bring a friend.
We'll fly you both first class, stay in a dope hotel, and go on a double date.
With us at one of New York City's most exclusive restaurants. We will sugar mommy the whole thing.
We have fun activities planned for the entire weekend, including $5,000 to each of you in any currency you choose.
So hit the subscribe button, and we can't wait to see you in New York.